I really don't know if Polish is the most difficult language in the world. Certainly, I keep reading it that it's one of the most difficult languages. And my own experience of studying French, Spanish, and some Chinese, I did a year of Chinese, I have to say that Polish, in terms of the grammar, is by far the most difficult language that I've come across. I've been a language teacher all my life, and what I'm going to do in this video is show you some of the things that I do to study Polish. So I'm going to take you through some great technologies and some great tricks. Now, my specialization these days is how we use technology in our teaching and learning language lessons. So really, hopefully, what I'm going to show you is going to be very useful, very practical, and it doesn't matter what language you learn, this is going to help you. Really hope you like this video, and as always, if you do like the video, please like it, please share it with other teachers and students, please comment on it, and of course join me on my YouTube channel. Let's get started. One last thing, many people ask me how I make my videos. I use Camtasia. If you want to try it out, there's a link to test it for free in the description. You can also buy it with a discount. I've provided a link there, and there's also a free 6-part course that will take you through everything in how Camtasia works, and I'll also put that in the description. Now I'm going to build this video up, and I promise you, even when I'm showing you YouTube and Google Translate and then things like natural languages and Quizlet and all these tools that I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you things that you probably don't know about these tools. I know these technologies very well. I've often done courses with them, or in some cases I've actually worked with the companies. So let me just show you something, for example, that you can do in YouTube when you're searching for material. Let's do the example that I always show. I'm going to write shopping in English. Okay, and you know, when we're learning languages, we always want to learn about shopping. But did you realize, for example, that one thing that you can do is you can come over here on the right hand side, click on filters, and you can actually search for videos that have got subtitles. Now, this is something that I do all the time, because when I'm working with learning Polish, I always look for videos that have got subtitles in them. Okay, so now I can see that the videos that are here have all got subtitles. Now, another thing that you can do, which is really useful as well, is limit the length of the videos. I don't like to work with videos that are too long, normally between 4 and 20 minutes. But if you're a low level, you might even want to choose videos under 4 minutes. So I'm going to choose between 4 and 20 minutes. Now I'm going to show you a couple more tricks that we can do with YouTube when it comes to the transcripts. So let's open up one of these videos. We'll use this one here. I'm just going to click on this video and open it up onto the screen. So once we've skipped the annoying advert, what we can do is click over here and make sure that we've got the right subtitles. So let's imagine that you're studying English, so you're going to obviously want the subtitles in English, okay? Obviously I look for Polish videos, but I'm just doing examples here in English, but we'll swap over and do some examples later in other languages as well. So that's a useful button to know about, but this is perhaps even more important. Let me just go back to the normal view so you can kind of see it in the standard view, default view. It's a button here. If you click here, you'll notice it says show transcript. So that means that you can actually access the transcript. Now we've got the transcript here, so as you play the video you can be reading it, okay? But if you scroll down below, you should find also that the transcript is actually underneath the video. Now in the old days, a little while back, it used to be here on the right hand side, but they seem to have shifted it now to put it down here, which can be a bit annoying really, because you know you're listening to the video and maybe you want to read the transcript, so you have to kind of click on this button here.
This video, if this is your first time here, don't forget to click the subscribe button below, and if you don't mind,
and then go down here.
This video, give me a thumbs up. Let's head into the mall.
But what I really like is that I can actually grab any phrases that I don't understand. So I could be reading or listening and reading the transcript, or of course I can also do that from here because the transcript is on the screen. But what I can do really quickly is just grab any text that I don't understand. So let's imagine, for example, that I'm Spanish and I don't understand this phrase here. I could grab this phrase, and this is what I do all the time, copy it, and then what I will do is jump over to Google Translate. So I'm going to jump over to Google Translate. So I click here, click on Google Translate, and let's imagine then that I'm Spanish, okay? So I've got English phrase and I want to understand what this means in Spanish. So I paste it in, and of course it's going to give me the translation. Now, that's nothing special. You probably realize that you can also listen to the pronunciation of the sentence.
Other types of stores are things like...
Okay, you can do that really easily as well, but watch this, that a lot of people don't realize. Google Translate allows you to save your sentences. As long as you're logged into Google, what I can do is I can click on this button here, the star, and that will now add that to my Google Translate. And if I want to see all my phrases in my Google Translate, how many phrases I've saved, and I'm doing this in Polish all the time, if I click here, then you'll see that I've got loads of phrases here in Polish. So these are all phrases that I'm currently trying to learn. So I've been watching videos in Polish, grabbing sentences that I want to learn and putting them into my Google Translate. And this is really useful because I've got a record here of all of the words that I'm currently studying. Now I've actually got a total of 38, so I can click through to other pages as well, okay? Probably 38 phrases is too many, but I'll show you something in a minute. Now, the useful thing about this is that I can wake up in the morning and literally just go through the phrases that I'm currently trying to learn in Polish, and I can click here and listen to them.
Uczmy się angielskiego w centrum handlowym. Hej, witajcie w tym filmie. Każdego ranka wziął swoją teczkę I przeszedł do szkoły.
So it's really useful for me because, you know, I've been watching a video and then I've got the sentences here and I practice those sentences so that I learn them. And then often what I'll do is I'll go back and watch the video again. Now, if you want to delete a word, all you need to do is click on the star and then that word will be deleted. Now, I'm going to show you a really clever trick now that you can do with Google Translate that most people don't realize. Now, I'm not really interested in a perfect translation because obviously when I watch the video, I'm seeing language in context anyway. So often the translation, as long as it gives me a basic idea of what I don't understand, then it's really going to be helpful because I'm going to go back and watch the video several times. But this is something that you can do in Google Translate that's so useful. You can click on this button here and it will grab, I call it the magic button, it will grab all of the sentences that you have currently got saved in your Google Translate, and it will bring them into what is called Google Sheets. Now there's only one thing you need to do. You need to open up the columns. Just pull it open nice and wide. You'll see why in a minute, okay? You want to make those two columns nice and wide so that you can now copy any sentences. Now, this gives us the opportunity to do loads of different things. So for me, Google Translate is actually really important because it helps me to organize my notes, and then I can use this fact that I've got all these lovely sentences now that I'm currently studying, because there's some great little tricks I can do, and I'm going to start to show you now. Now, there are loads of AI technologies coming onto the market. What you can do with those is incredible. I'm going to show you one. It's called natural readers. I'm just going to copy some of these sentences. I'm just going to copy these sentences here. So I've just selected these sentences, just the sentences in Polish. I'll do this demonstration in Polish. I'm going to click on copy. And now I'm going to jump over to something called natural readers. Now, natural readers is actually free, and you can start and use it for free. So I'm going to click here to start to use it, and it's going to bring me in. You'll probably have to log in via your Google or whatever. Obviously, I've already got my account. I'm going to close down whatever's on the screen now. I'm going to paste in those phrases. And what I can do now is I can actually go to the language I want, which in my case is Polish, but you've got English and Spanish and French and Russian and all sorts of languages here. You'll have to look through just how many. Absolutely masses of languages, Arabic there, Hebrew, Icelandic, Italian, Korean. So loads and loads of languages that you can work with, okay? So obviously I'm choosing Polish because we're learning this. I'm studying Polish, so I've chosen Polish. I'm going to choose the voice that I want to use, so I'm going to use Marek. And now what I can do is I can listen to these phrases being read out in a really clear, native-like Polish accent for free. So this is so useful to me. Let me just demonstrate this by clicking here.
Uczmy się angielskiego w centrum handlowym. Hej, witajcie w tym filmie. Każdego ranka wziął swoją teczkę i przeszedł do szkoły. Następnie Alex.
Now I can stop it at any time as well. So this is really useful because what it allows me to do is to listen to the sentences with a really native-like voice. I can even click here and slow down the speed a little bit if I want to hear them a little bit, a bit not said so quickly, which can be really useful. And the other thing I can do as well, if I just come back to the beginning again and I'll click, I can move this back here and just go back to the beginning, okay, is that I can even
Uczmy
repeat,
się angielskiego w centrum handlowym.
click here, and again it'll play back the sentence, okay, so I can do that as well.
Uczmy się angielskiego w centrum handlowym.
And you can notice now that it's been played a bit slower. So what I'll often do is play the sentence and then repeat the sentence. Now, you get a limited amount of free time per day. So if you click on account and you come to your daily usage, it tells you that I've only used today 386 characters out of 4,000. So you can see that this is actually quite useful and you can use quite a lot of it for free. And I'm honestly using this not on a daily basis because I don't study Polish every day, but I'm probably doing this 3 or 4 times a week. I'm using natural languages to practice the vocab. Now, of course, it could be a complete text, it could be a complete story, or it could just be a list of words. You're not limited to just working with this with Google Translate. You could be copying something from the internet that you want to listen to being read out, or you might have a story that's perhaps in a PDF format or in a Word format and you want to listen to it being read out. You just paste it in and play it. So natural readers is a massive help to me. I'm going to show you now how you can use Quizlet to study languages, but I'm also going to suggest another video where I've gone through how I use ChatGPT to study languages as well, because there's some great things that you can do with ChatGPT. And if you're interested in that video, it's on the screen now and you can click and watch it. Now I'm going to show you one more trick that I do. I'm going to jump back to that lovely list of words that we've got both in Polish and in English in my case, but obviously you could be learning all sorts of languages. What I'm going to do this time is actually copy both columns. So I'll do exactly the same thing. I'm going to copy both columns. Now what I'm going to do this time though is go over to Quizlet. Now I'm using the free tool. I'm just going to go over to Quizlet and I'm going to basically create a new set of cards. Now notice I copied the sentences. So when I come over to Quizlet, all I need to do is click on Create Study Set. And I don't need to write in all the cards individually. What I can do is I can click on Import, this button here, and just paste in those words. And then click on import. And what it does is it actually turns these cards instantly into a complete set of Quizlet cards for me, just at the click of one button. This really does save me a lot of time. Now it's important to give a title, so make sure you give this a title. So I'm going to call this Shopping in Polish. Okay, let's imagine that was my title. You don't necessarily need to write a description. Sometimes a little trick, you do need to click on the very first one and just make sure that it grabs the language. So it's got Polish and then click here and then it's picked up English. Once you've done that, just click on create. And now you've got yourself a set of cards that you can practice the language with. Now I'm doing this all the time. So transferring things from YouTube into Google Translate and then Google Translate into natural languages or into Quizlet. And now, of course, what I can do here is that I can play these games. Now, if you don't know how Quizlet works, you've got 4 different activities that you can do. Well, click on flashcards. It's the most common. You can click on the options when you click on the flashcards if you want as well. And you can have audio on. And you can choose which languages you want the audio to be in. So you can say, right, I want the audio in Polish, but I don't want it in English, for example. Now, one little tip about the Polish.
Uczmy się angielskiego w centrum handlowym. Hej, witajcie w tym filmie.
Okay, so it's worked perfectly. And then, of course, if I click, I can see what the translation is to the word. And then I can click on the next one. Okay, now occasionally, and this is the point I want to make, occasionally if you've got a really long sentence, it doesn't produce the audio. If you do a much shorter a sentence, it definitely will. So I have noticed that because I often have quite long sentences these days, sometimes it doesn't work in the free tool. Maybe in the paid tool it does. However, it still allows me to click and see the translation. So I can look at this here and then work out what the translation is, say it to myself, okay? So I think this says every day, every morning, he takes his briefcase and goes to school. Let me see that. Every morning he took his briefcase. Oh, it's in the past. Yes, wziął. So, okay. And then I would go to the next one and the same thing again. Okay, so this one here, następnie Alex rozpoczął swoje studio językowe. Okay, so he started recently. Alex started his language studies. Okay, so this is a really nice way of me studying
Po przybyciu na miejsce.
Notice what I've said though about the only problem with working with Quizlet, if you use long sentences, is sometimes they don't work. Notice when the sentence is shorter, it does work. Right, I really hope that's helped you. That's give you a few things that I do. And what's really powerful about this is, of course, that I go back and watch the video after studying the vocabulary, after working with natural languages, after working with Google Translate, after working with Quizlet. I will go back and watch the same video several times. And that really helps me to really get the language clear and to understand more and more. And this is really one of the ways that I work. And of course, the lovely thing about this is that I'm working on my own. Now, there's many more things we can do when learning languages, but those are certainly 4 useful technologies, and they're all free that can really support us. If you want to learn more about Quizlet, I'm going to put a video on the screen now that will really take you through Quizlet in much more detail. Okay, I really hope you liked that video, and if you did, please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free videos. I specialise in the use of technology in language teaching. There's a section on AI tools at the moment which is very popular, but also on the home page, if you scroll down, you'll see lots of videos on different aspects of learning languages with technology. If you want to follow my work, the best thing to do is to sign up to the newsletter. You'll get updated with all the latest videos and blog posts and webinars that I run, as well as some of my courses. And also, at the moment, there's a 14-part free course in using technology in language teaching and language studying. And there are no tricks, it's free, and most of the technologies that I suggest are completely free. You can also contact me from the website if you want me to do some training with your organisation or institution. And thank you very much. I'm going to leave some more videos on the screen now around language learning and technology.